the sport, the illustrious Arthur Mercanti. Let's go to them at ringside. Gentlemen.
Okay, Dick Landis, thank you very much. 1 week ago, Anthony Fletcher suffered broken ribs in sparring sessions. They brought in Charlie Choo-Choo Brown to meet Ruben Munoz. What would be going through the minds of Charlie Brown right now?
Well, Charlie Brown is ready. After all, he's won 11 of his last few fights here, and he's really ready tonight. And he's not a substitute because he has a definite objective in boxing. He wants to get in the rankings.
The banger against the boxer.
Well, Ruben Munoz is the effective aggressor. He calls himself the aggressive banger. He has a wonderful record. He's knocked out the WBA lightweight champion Art Frias, and he destroyed a pretty good fighter in Curtis Harris. So I anticipate a very, very exciting fight tonight, Howard.
Just one of a few fights we have for you. For the rest of the card, let's go back to Dick Landis.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Howard and Arthur. Johnny the Heat Verderosa. In just a couple of minutes, we'll go against Carlos Amaya. But let me tell you a little something about Verderosa. First of all, he is an extremely intense young man, and he is fighting at the welterweight limit tonight. He says that he feels he performs more comfortably at that heavier weight. But let's take a little background look at Verderosa.
Johnny the Heat Verderosa is a former USBA junior lightweight champion, having won that title in 1981, but eventually he relinquished the crown in '82 after successfully defending it 3 times. In March of this year, fighting now as a lightweight, Verderosa stepped into the ring with a former lightweight champion, Sean O'Grady. Actually, the fight was at the junior welterweight level, with a smaller Verderosa giving away 5 inches in height. Undaunted, the pesky, aggressive Verderosa pressed the fight to O'Grady. His attack followed a pattern, first working the body, then unleashing shots to the head. Left and rights rained on O'Grady's body. Stunned, he was helpless to respond to the pounding. Flurry upon flurry, left-right combinations finally took the toll in the 4th of the former lightweight champion. Verderosa had gained his most important victory.
Well, I've never seen a man fight in person or on film. I heard he's a little shorter than me, and he punches pretty strong, so I'm gonna be moving, sticking and moving, looking to be a sharpshooter tomorrow night. I'm in really good shape. I train real hard. I train in Puerto Rico with Freitas Caban, and I should be on the horse tomorrow, moving good, and it should be a good show. I think. You talk to him, man. Because I'm here, I'm ready.
Ringside at the Sands Hotel and Casino, Atlantic City, New Jersey. Howard David with Arthur Mercanti and Dick Landis for super fights. There's the tail of the tape. Johnny Verderosa giving away 1 inch in height, although almost a pound heavier and just an inch more in reach. No real glaring statistic one way or the other. Verderosa, 26 years of age. Been a pro for 4 years, had 29 fights. Amaya has had 22 fights. There you see Johnny Verderosa's record, 27-2. Carlos Amaya, 16-6. Earlier, we asked each fighter's handlers about their fighters. First up, Chris Dundee tells us about Carlos Amaya.
And he's really up for this fight. He knows that if he can beat Johnny Verderosa, that he's going to be getting a lot of big fights. And the reason he's here was he appreciates the opportunity of this fight. And I'm sure that the fans are going to like him.
Well, we were sent down to Puerto Rico for this fight because we had to get him a little bit of shape. He's fighting a hard puncher tomorrow, the Chilean junior welterweight champion. But we're really looking forward after this. We are really, really looking forward to fighting Sugar Ray Leonard. I feel Sugar Ray Leonard is coming back. We want him. Let him get past the Johnny Verderosa before he can go anywhere else. Can he get past the Johnny Verderosa? I don't think so.
All right, let's go up to the ring announcer in the middle of the ring, Hank Kerpinski.
Health Boxing Promotion and Main Events Productions in association with the Sands Hotel and Casino welcome you to Super Fights of the Month. This evening's program is approved and supervised by the New Jersey State Athletic Commission, the Honorable Jersey Joe Walcott, Commissioner, Robert Lee, Deputy. The officials assigned here this evening. The physician in attendance at ringside, Chief Doctor from South Jersey, Dr. Frank Doggett. Timekeeper, Justin Bucanico. Judges, Tommy Kazmarek and Lawrence Wallace. Referee in the ring at the present time, Zach Clayton. This bout, 10 rounds. Introducing in the red corner, wearing black trunks, he weighs 143.5 pounds. From Santiago, Chile, let's welcome Carlos Amaya. And his opponent in the blue corner, wearing white trunks with the gold trim. He weighs 144.25 pounds. From Staten Island, New York, Johnny the Heat Verderosa. 10 rounds.
Zach Clayton, the referee, calling the fighters to the middle of the ring.
You fight your fight. As long as you're fighting, abide by the rules of the state. Now let you fight on the inside along with both hands are free. I command you guys to break, pull out. And pulling out, protect yourself. 3 knockdowns will not terminate this fight. I'll use my discretion. Good luck. Give me a good clean one. Good luck to both of you.
10-round battle. On your left, Carlos Amaya. On the right, Johnny the Heat Verderosa. Verderosa could pass for Bobby Chez's kid brother facially.
Yeah, that's very true. Carlos Amaya doesn't look like he's been doing his road work. He's very, very, very heavy in the midsection and very pudgy. Another thing I noticed about him, he has street stockings on. He doesn't have athletic hose. Now, I don't know what that means. That means he probably didn't come in prepared.
Well, the men's store was closed. Johnny Verderosa from Staten Island, New York. On the left in the white trunks. Carlos Amaya in the black trunks. This round, as you can see, 10 rounds, welterweight division. 147-pound limit. Verderosa came in at 144.25. Amaya 143.5.
He's a little wild, throwing that right hand that way, and he's grasping now and holding.
Keep it clean. Come on, keep it clean.
And he would have to hold with Verderosa because Verderosa really gets wild.
Amaya trying to lead with the right, and that is very dangerous. Not for the opponent, but for himself.
Okay, hold up. Come on. Let that grab it and try. Come on.
This is the 6th fight this year that Verderosa has had. That's an active season.
Verderosa seems to kind of change his style. At one time, he would slug with the left and slug with the right and just come in swinging. He seems to change, and it's to his advantage. Of course, leading with the right like that wasn't the right thing to do. Carlos Amaya seems to be squared away onto his opponent. He's not too much to the right where he should be, and he's taking some awful chances in there now.
Verderosa trying to work to the body, alternately with coming up to the head. Round number 1 of the scheduled 10-rounder between Carlos Amaya in the black trunks, Johnny Verderosa in the white trunks. Under a minute remaining in round 1. Good right by Verderosa.
Carlos seems to have a very, very short reach. He doesn't seem to have long arms at all. Verderosa has the longer reach, and he just snaps that jab in continually.
The makeup of the two fighters making it look that way because Verderosa only has 1 inch advantage in reach. And that isn't very much.
I know, but it seems he extends more.
It does. You're right.
Carlos ought to get out of that ropes. It's very dangerous with a man like Verderosa staying in those ropes.
Verderosa throwing haymakers, keeping Amaya in the corner.
And it'd be smart if he tied up Verderosa.
20 seconds to go in the first round.
Verderosa's changed his style. He's gone to southpaw now. He switches occasionally.
Verderosa measuring his opponent. At the conclusion of this, the first round, let's go to the corner of Johnny Verderosa. Young man from Staten Island, New York. Let's listen in.
Keep them gloves closed. Go on work.
Give me the pill for the Give me the pill for the color below. Johnny,
Grab me, man. Grab me that, huh?
you got it. You're looking good. Look to the back. Johnny.
back, sir. Huh?
You all right?
Is that way I have to? Huh?
Are you
Can't, man. Something about me.
Are you better?
Now the corner of Carlos Amaya. Interesting to note that Verderosa looked over at the camera and winked at him, at the cameraman.
Yeah, it's also interesting to note that they had an end swell. That's supposed to reduce swelling. His left eye apparently must have a little swelling.
Verderosa trying to work to the body. You mentioned at the top of the first round, Arthur, that Amaya a little bit paunchy in the middle, and maybe that's what Verderosa is trying to do.
Well, he's not a little bit paunchy, I'm sad to say. He should be a lot more defined in the professional ranks.
I was being charitable. Clayton steps in the middle.
Zach almost got hit that with that exchange.
Verderosa cutting the angle of the ring down and to Amaya.
It seems very difficult for Amaya to get on the inside. It just seems to be that reach is so much longer. Howard, as you said, it's only an inch difference, but it's the extension, I'm quite sure.
Amaya's had 22 fights. He's won 16, 9 by knockout. Verderosa's had 29 fights. He's won 27, 17 by knockout.
I have to repeat that if Amaya would get more to the left, take his right shoulder and bring it back to the right a little more, like in the fencing position, he seems vulnerable.
Amaya trying to be more of the aggressor here in the second round. It's the crowd revved up. And now Verderosa coming back. Fast March 20th, Verderosa engaged in the biggest bout of his career. His opponent on that night was Sean O'Grady, the former world lightweight champion who entered that particular night with a record of 81-4.
Yeah, he looked awesome that night against Sean O'Grady, let me tell you.
Verderosa scored a knockout in the fourth round that night. Under 1 minute to go in round 2 of the scheduled 10 round. Verderosa a little wild there.
Verderosa's getting a little too cocky now by flailing the arms that way and putting on the showboat. He was caught with a very, very good jab then and knocked his head back. Verderosa's head came right back.
While Verderosa is the clear favorite. A good left by Amaya. Now Verderosa perhaps getting a little angry that maybe, hey, he's getting it in too much on me.
Amaya's just a little late on his delivery. Just can't seem to deliver those punches in time to make the contact.
15 seconds to go in round number 2 of the scheduled 10-rounder. Verderosa flailing away with lefts and rights.
Those body punches hurt.
We go to the corner of Carlos Amaya. From Santiago, Chile, now living in Miami, Florida. Let's listen in.
Got the mouthpiece?
Ándale la pelota adentro, que le pelea que le deja abajo porque se está moviendo adentro. Tú toma el centro del ring, ¿ah? Y no lo dejes que él maniobre dominando el centro del ring. Tú anda encima de él. ¿Ah? Eso es lo que no dice que grande. Ya tú adentro, tú le dejas adentro.
Please keep off the ropes.
All right, first early in the round, number 2.
Yeah, Verderosa didn't look very good on that exchange. He just reached in, swung and missed. It seems like Verderosa wants to get him out of the picture too quickly, and he's just going wild.
Now this later in the round.
Yeah, he's just swinging at random now, and he really doesn't have to. He just has to pursue his fighter and stakes with his feet firmly implanted on that canvas. He'd be better off.
Verderosa coming on with a rush here in the third round of the scheduled 10-rounder, and Verderosa trying to make it a lot shorter than 10 rounds.
Verderosa is very, very confident. He has been right from the very start.
I'm really wondering about Verderosa's concentration, Arthur. I really am. I I think his concentration is lacking.
Well, his concentration is lacking, and he's wild.
And now he's connecting. Verderosa turning up the heat a little bit in this third round. Good left.
Amaya's face is all reddened, but he's not swollen. He can take an awful lot of punishment, that Amaya. He has the kind of a skin that doesn't cut or he doesn't swell.
Wild left by Amaya, misses its mark. Verderosa trying to work the body and then come up top.
I tell you, Amaya is a very, very game fighter. There's no question about it. He knows he's in there with a very, very stiff puncher, but he walks right in. He's not afraid to take the chance.
Verderosa held the USBA junior lightweight title from 81 through 82. Good right by Johnny Verderosa.
Now,
on the side of the head. Excuse me, Arthur.
I'm sorry, Howard. I just can't help but you feel like reminding him to get off the ropes because that's too dangerous with a fighter like Verderosa.
Verderosa slipping the punches, ducking underneath, and then coming up and under. Trying to score from underneath.
Johnny seems to be measuring him, extending his left hand and shooting over on the right.
Good left by Amaya. Didn't seem to bother Verderosa, although it seemed to have it made its mark. Good right by Verderosa to the side of the head. And another good right. Amaya comes back.
That was the best exchange so far. Exchange for Amaya. He stayed right toe-to-toe with him with the left uppercut and the right cross, and he landed.
Third round, and perhaps the most exciting without question of the first three. Verderosa supplying a fan for Amaya. Had that connected, it would have been right in the cheap seats.
Well, he was throwing baseballs then. You don't throw right hands that way. You have to get close to your opponent, then let it go.
Either fighter making contact with wild swings. Verderosa to the side of the neck. Carlos Amaya.
Game. That Carlos Amaya is a game fighter.
Last 20 seconds of the third round of the scheduled 10-rounder. Both fighters trying to end it early. Verderosa, a little stutter step, trying to feign a shot as we come to the end of round three. Okay, let's go to our colleague Dick Landis.
Okay, Howard and Arthur, let me mention something about Verderosa. The next time he comes out, the next round, take a look at his body build. Very muscular thighs and a big rear end. That means power. He's got a lot of power, low center of gravity. He can generate power. However, he's wild. He swings wide, as you notice. He's quick, but he's wild. And the only hope for Amaya is to counterpunch, stay inside, stay alive. It could go one more round. It could go longer. The burden of this fight is now on Amaya. Gentlemen.
Okay, Dick Landis, thank you very much as we replay some of the action of round three, Arthur.
Yes, Verderosa is completely relentless, but also completely wild. He just wants to throw that one big bomb, and you just can't do that. Amaya got a couple of good punches in this last exchange, and here they go.
Again, Verderosa with the wild right lead. Throwing a lot of punches. Amaya trying to deck him in one round, in one punch. And the two of them toe-to-toe.
Verderosa is not a disciplined fighter. He just doesn't know how to pace himself. He could really just get so tired in the next round or so that he could collapse if he keeps up this kind of a pace.
We are in the fourth round of the scheduled 10-round welterweight battle. Johnny the Heat Verderosa and Carlos Amaya right above us.
Verderosa is kind of a dirty fighter. He takes advantage of every opportunity. He doesn't let anything go by him. But Amaya keeps coming in. I admire his courage. He's starting to block Verderosa's punches very well now.
Perhaps Verderosa would be better off going back to sticking the left jab. Lead to the right, barely connects.
Amaya ought to sometimes kind of retreat, make up his mind what he wants to do and come in and do it. You just can't keep coming in all the time and get that onslaught.
Good counter by Amaya to the face of Verderosa.
Verderosa has that habit of keeping his left hand very low. If Amaya had an educated right hand, he could just slip right over that, connect. Because he is close enough to do it.
1 minute and 20 seconds remaining in the fourth round of the scheduled 10-rounder. Johnny Verderosa in the white trunks, Carlos Amaya in the black. Just part of an exciting super fights card here in Atlantic City, New Jersey at the Sands Hotel.
Verderosa's eye doesn't seem to be bothering. I guess that end swell did work. He had a little swelling there, but he's all right now. The pace of the fight has slowed down considerably, Howard.
It had to. Verderosa sneaking in the left, now an overhand right.
I've seen Verderosa throw more power punches in his previous fights, unless this Carlos Amaya can take it.
Good right overhead by Amaya. He's not. I agree with you, Arthur. You got to tip your hat to Amaya for his guts.
And he doesn't have that. He doesn't have that power in his punches. He's scoring, but he's not scoring with any effectiveness at all.
Verderosa trying to lead with the right. Catch Amaya on the button to come to 10 seconds to the end of round 4 of this scheduled 10-rounder. Johnny Verderosa, Carlos Amaya. As we look at Carlos Amaya, we remind you that next month, coming up on Super Fights, a 10-round light heavyweight bout between David Sears and Eric Winbush. Sears, of course, managed by one of the stars of the Rocky movies, Burt Young. This will come live to you January the 25th from New York City. Actually, Ridgewood Arena in Queens. Into the corner of Johnny Verderosa.
Amaya gets hit with that long jab, but it doesn't seem to have any power behind it at all right now. It seems to me that Verderosa is tiring a little at this point.
We are in the 5th round of the scheduled 10-rounder. Johnny Verderosa from Staten Island, New York. Carlos Amaya, currently living in Miami, originally from Santiago, Chile.
Johnny's changing his style now. He's a southpaw. He can't make up his mind where he wants to go. I have a feeling that his corner told him, try to end this fight quickly.
While his left glove was being held, he was pounding Amaya with his right. Good straight right by Verderosa.
I tell you, that Amaya just doesn't want to step back. He doesn't just want to move around a little bit and get his thoughts together and figure out what he's going to do. He just keeps walking in and he can take it. That's not the name of the game in boxing, to take it. It's to give it.
Carlos Amaya, who's trained by Chris Dundee, of course, from the famous Dundee family that have trained quite a few superb fighters in their day.
You notice how Johnny Verderosa is slowed down now.
For a moment, I thought there might have been a little blood trickling from the left nostril of Carlos Amaya, but perhaps not.
You know what I think, Howard? I think that Verderosa gave all that he could.
Now there is blood coming from his left nostril.
And he doesn't seem to, talking about Verderosa now, he doesn't seem to have that much left in him.
Fighting flat-footed, Verderosa is.
Now he changed his style again and led with that right hand.
Good left and right combinations by Johnny Verderosa as the action picks up in the 5th round.
Just can't understand why Amaya stays squared away on him that way. He's just an absolute target all the way.
Under a minute remaining in the 5th round of the scheduled 10-rounder between Carlos Amaya and Johnny Verderosa. In this round, Amaya looking like a human dartboard.
He ought to be doing a little more dancing, but I think maybe because of, I'm guessing now, the lack of road work, he just can't move around that much.
Don't grab it. I'll take it.
I think Verderosa was a little disappointed himself that he couldn't end this fight a lot faster. He's a very, very tough opponent, I'll tell you that Carlos Amaya.
Amaya came into this fight in 22 bouts with a record of 16-6, 9 knockouts. While Johnny Verderosa came in 27-2 with 17 knockouts. His last fight 3 months ago, where he decisioned Martin Rojas as we come to the end of the 5th round. Two fighters glaring at each other as they go their separate ways at the end of the 5th round. Let's listen in to Johnny Verderosa's corner.
Don't get sucked. Don't lose your temper now.
You got to keep to that. You did that overhand right. You did it right in. You came right in with the overhand.
Verderosa's reaching in with that left jab and the right hand, but he seems to have lost the sting at this particular time. At this angle, Verderosa continues to look wild. He's just slugging. He's throwing baseballs. He really should get in a lot closer because Amaya is a target for him. Why he stays out on the outside that way, I don't know.
Johnny Verderosa, as we begin round 6, told by his corner not to lose his temper. Verderosa pounding away at the midsection. Verderosa starting to lose his temper again. He couldn't get careless when you do that. Good luck, good touch of sportsmanship there.
This fight now is turning out to be a Pierce 6 brawl. And it could get dirty, and of course they got a good strong referee in there. Zach Clayton can control that situation.
A good exchange by the two fighters and a good left by Amaya.
Amaya seems to be scoring at the end of the last round. He scored, and they both kind of looked at each other with like they were going to start during that 1-minute rest, and Zach Clayton broke them up and sent them back to their corners.
As the graphic showed, we are in a welterweight bout between Carlos Amaya and Johnny the Heat Verderosa. Feigning the right and sticking the left is Verderosa.
Amaya always seems to get stuck on the ropes. He's always seated on that 3rd rope. Come on. He ought to get out of those ropes because that's the danger involved there. Verderosa was hit with a couple of low blows, but of course it was where Zach couldn't see those low blows. It was on the other side.
Johnny Verderosa came in, good right by Verderosa. Over the top, came in at 144 1/4. Amaya 143 1/2.
You're just saying a few words there. Amaya threw a pretty good right uppercut and another good right cross. And it seems to me that his hands seem to be all right. He's gaining confidence. Amaya seems to be gaining confidence.
Well, Amaya came into this fight the decided underdog. Verderosa has had the bigger fights, the better record, more publicity.
Yeah, but he said to me early in the day, Howard, that you're going to see a good fight tonight. He said, I'm not afraid of him. He said, you're going to see a real good fight in his Spanish English.
45 seconds to go in this, the 6th round of the scheduled 10-rounder. Verderosa scoring with the left.
Amaya's corner did a good job on his nose. He's not bleeding. There he is. He's seated on that rope again. That's happened countless times.
Zach Clayton breaks him up. Oh, good left by Verderosa. And an uppercut.
Well, Verderosa's throwing all the combinations now. They're all landing. But again, it doesn't seem to bother Amaya.
20 seconds to go in the 6th round. Verderosa switching back to southpaw, perhaps to try to confuse Amaya. Now conventionally to right-handed.
Verderosa was very crisp on that exchange. Left, right, left.
5 seconds to go in round number 6.
Let's go.
They're going to follow the steps of Carlos Amaya back to his corner. Young man out of Santiago, Chile. Looks a little beat.
First you got to tell you, man, to give me some more action, because I don't want to be taking all those shots without any retaliation.
He wants you to fight more.
You got to punch back, he said.
Punch back.
He hits you, hit him back.
You're not fighting enough. Don't find no.
What happened when we have any way?
Don't find no excuses. Punch.
No, I fight her.
But you're not punching enough. What are you waiting for?
Zach Clayton came over to the corner of Carlos Amaya and told him he needs more action from his side.
Now there's the action on Verderosa's part. He just keeps getting him into the ropes. He knows that's where he could hurt him. And he's done that for almost every round. But that Amaya keeps coming back. Amaya got a good right uppercut in there. Verderosa looked at him quite stunned.
All right, we go to round 7 of this scheduled 10-rounder. Johnny Verderosa in the white trunks, Carlos Amaya in the black. And again, like all the previous rounds, Verderosa comes out smoking in the early going.
You know, there was a definite painful-looking pace. His face was very painful-looking, Amaya's face, like he was saying that his hand hurts. Now, I don't know whether it's the right hand or the left, but he seems to be scoring with both. But he was complaining about something to his corner.
He was saying in broken English that he was fighting back. Zach Clayton said he wanted more action from him.
Well, I'll tell you, Amaya is getting into the fight now. He's doing more boxing now than he did earlier.
Leaping left hand by Amaya and a retaliatory right by Verderosa.
That Amaya reminds me of Muhammad Ali. He doesn't cut, he doesn't swell, he still looks okay. And he's taken an awful lot of pounding around the face.
Obviously talking about Ali in his prime. Not today. Johnny Verderosa in the white trunks. Carlos Amaya in the black as we are in round 7.
That Verderosa has a very, very quick, sharp jab. If he would carry it high and let it go right from the side, he'd be better off.
Verderosa slipping away from the left of Amaya.
I think that Verderosa is frustrated at this point, really. He figured that this was probably an easy fight for him. And he realizes now that he's in a pretty good fight.
Well, I think he's realized that all along, mainly because he's hit him with everything he has, and Amaya's still standing.
That's right. And now he's starting to flick with that right hand and the left hand. That really should be stopped, that flicking with the right and the left. That illegal flicking with the open glove is not allowed in boxing.
Under a minute remaining in the 7th round of this scheduled 10-rounder. Johnny Verderosa in the white trunks, Carlos Amaya in the black.
I can't understand why Amaya continues to stay in that corner. He ought to dance out of it.
And yet, just when you think he's about ready to go, he comes right back.
Oh, no, he comes right back in. He's not afraid of Verderosa at all.
Good left by Amaya, although a little on the weak side, nevertheless. He came back. Amaya now bleeding from the left nostril.
You know, Amaya looks a little pudgy in the midsection, but he can take it there because he was hit some very good shots.
Verderosa getting the better of it again in round number 7. Coming up to the last 10 seconds of the round.
I just like the way Amaya comes keeping in. You know, he's an ineffective aggressor, but he is aggressive in this round.
No question about it. Good. Right at the bell by Johnny Verderosa. Verderosa applying most of the heat in round number 7, Arthur.
Well, I'll tell you, the heat is tired. When a man grasps the ropes like he is right now, and his corner is not telling him to drop his hands, because that's not good for the blood circulation to keep your arms that way. He's tired. His arms should be put down immediately in the rest position at his side.
Fight on the rope, Dave. You can't fight on the ropes, eh?
And there goes that end swell again. He's got a swelling there, but they're keeping it down. They're doing a good job.
You don't know how to fight the ropes.
Verderosa has got that left jab. He's just stalking it out. As we said before, he's kind of flicking and snapping it. He's measuring with the right, but Amaya keeps coming in. And I have to repeat that Verderosa looks frustrated. Now Amaya is stuck again in the ropes. He ought to learn just how to get out of there, but he comes right back and he scores with a left and a right and a left again, which wasn't bad at all.
Beginning of round number 8. of this scheduled 10-rounder. Johnny Verderosa in the white trunks, Carlos Amaya in the black, and as previous, Verderosa coming out, throwing him from lefts and rights at the beginning of the round.
Yeah, Verderosa's out now. He wants to end it. He's swinging now. He's doing everything. He's punching illegally, and he's hitting. He's butting also with the head.
One thing is for certain, Amaya is going to have a very difficult time going to sleep tonight.
He's going to have a very sore head, that's for sure. But I'll say he is game. Let's give him credit for that.
And they won't be sugar plums dancing in his head either.
Now that was bad too. Verderosa's hitting with that right hand on the backhand.
Verderosa is stung there momentarily by Amaya.
I'll tell you, Amaya came back with a tremendous left hook to the jaw. And again to Verderosa. He's coming alive, it seems.
Verderosa seems to be sucking air through his mouthpiece, Arthur. You might be right. He could be very tired.
Yes, when a fighter puts his arms down that way, that's a sign of being tired. Because, of course, it's very difficult to keep your arms up for 10 rounds.
This is the 8th round of the scheduled 10-rounder. Johnny Verderosa in the white trunks, Carlos Amaya in the black in the welterweight division.
Now Verderosa is getting tagged late in the rounds.
Seems to be holding his hands lower, as you mentioned.
That Amaya just keeps coming in. I tell you, I admire him. I admire Amaya.
Difficult to say. Every once in a while, Verderosa pauses momentarily, takes in a hunk of air.
The trouble with Verderosa is he goes all out and he does all the swinging, then he gets tired, and then he recoups and he starts again. He's not consistent.
Verderosa has Amaya against the ropes. There in the 8th round.
Verderosa, I'm sorry, Howard. Go ahead.
Verderosa, every time he seems to have Amaya in trouble, he doesn't continue the action.
You know, honestly, I was going to say the same thing, and he misses an awful lot, too. He'll hit me a couple of shots, and then he backs off and misses.
20 seconds to go in the 8th round. Amaya scoring at will in the late stages of this round.
I'll tell you, Amaya is really coming back, and he's not afraid at all. He's coming right into the fight now.
Coming to the end of round number 8. We go now to our colleague, Dick Landis.
Okay, gentlemen, thanks very much. You have to admire Amaya, as Arthur has said. Let me tell you something. At weigh-in before these fights earlier in the day, Amaya told me, he said, I'm going to stay inside. I'm disciplined. I'll strictly stay inside and counterpunch. And you have to give him credit. He's not only courageous, but he's sticking to his game plan, and he does have the heat frustrated, no doubt about it. And remember, the heat is carrying more weight at the welterweight limit, and it might be having an effect on him. Gentlemen?
Thanks, Dick. Once upon a time, as you look at Johnny Verderosa, he was called the best young Italian-American boxer since Willie Pep by Ring magazine.
Oh, you can't compare him with Willie Pep.
Said since.
All right, here it goes now. He's leading. That Verderosa seems to be leading with the right. He's frustrated. He was caught with a great left hook, and he's shocked by it.
Wait a second. Wasn't Rocky Marciano after Willie Pep? Talking about good Italian-American boxers.
That's right. Italian, Brockton American. There seems to be a lot of water in that corner, in Verderosa's corner, and Amaya slept.
Zach Clayton just told Verderosa's corner to wipe it up.
They must have told him to come to life, because he's really coming to life now.
And he was stung by Amaya's right, and a left by Amaya. Gamely fighting back.
Absolutely right. This guy is a real game guy. He's really mixing it up now. He had done that earlier, it would have been a different kind of a fight.
Most of the fight, it has been Verderosa that has been backing Amaya up into the ropes and into the corners. Now it is Verderosa that is backpedaling.
That's an excellent point. That's an excellent point, and that is true. You can see that. There's Amaya coming in. He's pushing the fight now. It's too bad he didn't start this sooner.
Verderosa missing over the top of Amaya's head. We are in round 9 of a scheduled 10-round bout. Johnny Verderosa in the white trunks. Carlos Amaya in the black.
Verderosa has to be disappointed in this performance tonight, really.
Stinging right by Verderosa. But Amaya counters with a left to the face and another one.
Verderosa's carrying his hands very, very low now, and he's being tagged with lefts and rights.
Verderosa on his horse, backpedaling, continuing to get away from Amaya.
And look at that. I mean, now Amaya's taking the play away from him. He's the aggressor now.
A straight left by Amaya. Combination by Verderosa. Unofficially, I would have Verderosa significantly ahead of this bout. But you never know. There's 2 rounds to almost 2 rounds to go.
Well, I would agree with you there, but I would say that Amaya is a real valiant fighter. And I don't know why Verderosa looked at Zach Clayton, because Amaya didn't do anything wrong.
45 seconds to go as Verderosa shifts back to southpaw.
Now Verderosa's showboating, taking
connecting.
chances.
Well, he connected there. It worked out. Amaya hanging in there.
It is amazing the way Amaya keeps coming in. He has no fear whatsoever.
25 seconds to go in round number 9 of this 10-round bout.
Verderosa looks tired. He's kind of like leaning that jab on his head.
Left by Amaya as we are inside 10 seconds to round 9. Carlos Amaya from Santiago, Chile, now living in Miami, Florida. Came into this bout with a record of 16-6. There's Johnny Verderosa, nicknamed the Heat, the record of 27-2. I would say between rounds 3 and 7, it was primarily Verderosa, although Amaya has come on in the last 2 rounds.
He certainly has, but not sufficiently enough really to get back into this fight. And he looks very fresh.
Difficult. Zach Clayton went into Carlos Amaya's corner. It was difficult to hear what he said to him.
Keep him rushing into the right. You did jump. Uppercut. Sí, compadre, vaya, los últimos 3 minutos.
One chance I would say for that man, Carlos Amaya, to win, and that is with a knockout.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, Carlos Amaya, if you notice in the corner, looked very, very fresh, and Verderosa looked very, very distraught and tired and discouraged.
10th and final round. Johnny Verderosa and Carlos Amaya.
Verderosa must be very, very disappointed himself because he probably thought he had an easy touch tonight, but that didn't come to reality.
A couple of months ago, an outstanding junior middleweight by the name of Mike McCallum was in Atlantic City, and he had a young Mexican lad that he was fighting in, and it appeared to be such a mismatch, it was ridiculous. McCallum almost got taken out in the 7th round. You never underestimate your opponent.
That's right. You never know in boxing when that guy's going to come along and do it.
Tenth and final round. Johnny Verderosa and Carlos Amaya. Still to come, Ruben Munoz and Charlie Choo-Choo Brown.
I'll tell you that Amaya can really take some punishment, and it doesn't bother him at all. He keeps coming in for more. Never once did Amaya look like he was blurry-eyed or hurt. He's very, very fresh.
Again, Amaya stalking Verderosa, looking for an opening.
If Amaya had come out early in the early rounds in this fashion, he would have stood a better chance to showing up in this fight, because Verderosa is tiring towards the end. He showed more tiredness in his corner than Amaya. This Meyer is the aggressor. He keeps coming in.
Under a minute remaining in this bout between Carlos Amaya and the black trunks, Johnny Verderosa in the white.
Verderosa doesn't have that sharp punch power that he had a while back. He seems to have lost that. Maybe he's leaving it in the gym. I don't know.
Perhaps. Less than 30 seconds remaining in the fight.
That was a very, very good exchange. Good left hook, which connected right on the chin of Verderosa. Keeping that right hand down that way is dangerous for Verderosa, but I don't believe at this time that now Amaya has any power left at all in his punches.
10 seconds to go in the fight. Bell momentarily. That's all she wrote. This one's over between Carlos Amaya on the right side. That man right there from Santiago, Chile, gave the crowd their money's worth, and you can hear the applause.
Well, I tell you, I almost feel like applauding him myself, really. He did an excellent job.
Go right ahead.
Very good.
Johnny Verderosa and Carlos Amaya putting on a show for the crowd here at the Sands Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Howard David with Arthur Mercanti and Dick Landis, bringing you the super fights for the month of December. This is 10th round action.
Now there's that soft left jab on the part of Verderosa. He comes across with a good right hand, but he just can't seem to hurt Amaya. Amaya is really impervious to being hurt, it seems to me. He finished fresh. Amaya looks pretty good. We're looking right up at him now. Not, of course, not on the camera, but as I can see him on my left-hand side here in the corner. There he is now. No question that he'll get a resounding round of applause.
I agree with you. I agree with you. We're assembling the votes from the judges: Thomas Kazmarek, Frank Brunette, and Larry Wallace. And momentarily, we will have the decision of the judges. I have to believe it's Verderosa by unanimous decision, although Carlos Amaya will get a big hand.
Oh, there's no question about the unanimous decision. But I'll tell you, Verderosa really didn't look that sharp tonight.
No, he didn't. He seemed to be very uptight today. I think you mentioned that, too, earlier today at the weigh-in. Verderosa seemed to be a little uptight. All right, let's go up to the ring announcer, Hank Krupinski.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous decision. Referee Zach Clayton scores the contest 9-0 and 1 even. Judge Lawrence Wallace scores the contest 9 rounds to 1. Judge Tommy Kazmarek scores the contest 9 rounds to 1 for the winner, Johnny the Heat Verderosa.
Johnny Verderosa, a unanimous decision. I must question. 9-1. I didn't think it was that far apart.
Well, I tell you, Verderosa really won the fight unanimously. It may not have been 9-1, but it could have been 8-2. But Verderosa did win that fight unanimously. There's no question about it. In the beginning, Amaya was on the defense all the time. He came alive at the end of the fight, but not sufficiently enough to really take over those rounds, in my estimation.
All right, I would concur. Hank Krupinski, who made the ring announcement, was questioned by one of the corners. One of the seconds of Carlos Amaya said that Zach Clayton didn't score the fight. He announced that Zach Clayton
had scored it. Yeah, it was not Zach Clayton because the referees do not score in New Jersey.
That's right. Still to come, Charlie Choo-Choo Brown and Ruben Munoz will have the 1983 Boxing Awards and the 1983 Boxing Headlines for this past season. It's been a thrilling one. All right, let's go over to our colleague, Dick Landis.
Okay, thanks very much, Howard and Arthur. On my card, I had it 8-2. Standing here is the former junior lightweight, USBA junior lightweight champion who fought up a couple of classes tonight. Let's ask some pertinent questions here. You were heavier tonight. The fifth round, it seemed as though you started to slow down a little bit. You got a little weary. Is the extra weight hurt?
No, well, first of all, I'd like to thank the Lord Jesus, our Savior, for giving me the strength to train for this fight. And it's only for him that I'm fighting from now on. Everything I do in the ring and outside the ring is going to be for him. But according to the weight, I'm getting used to my weight now. This is the first time I took 10 hard rounds at that weight. So I'm developing to a strong junior welterweight, and possibly, maybe I'll even fight 146 and take a shot. If Sugar Ray will give me the privilege to fight him on his comeback, I'm going to be right in his face just like Roberto Man was the first fight, and I'll give him some comeback. If he get by me, then I think he's liable to go on, maybe become the welterweight champ again. But I'm challenging him, and I hope he gives me that privilege, and I'll be in his face just like the man was. But if not, I'm going to fight somebody in the junior welterweight division in the top 10, and I'm going to be ready.
Johnny, let me make an observation, okay? You're a powerful young man. You have good speed, but you have a tendency to get wild in the ring and a little undisciplined in the ring. Could your attack be better disciplined and more effective?
Of course, it could be a little more disciplined. Like I said, maybe, tonight was the first time I took that weight. I think I weighed 44 1/4. At that speed, really good. So I'm coming into that, either junior welterweight or maybe even the welterweight division. So, then I'll be able to move more quicker and more fluently, and I'll be able to be more defensive. You're right. Of course,
you have to pace yourself better.
Pace myself better? Well, it's more or less getting used to my weight.
Right. Get used to the weight.
I have to be able to go hard, 10, 15 rounds with the weight. So it's more or less I have to get used to being a little heavier. But I'm stronger now. I'm getting a little older, 26, and I'm getting used to it. So junior welterweight, I'm gonna take him apart, and I hope Sugar Ray gives me the opportunity, and I'll give him some fight if I might come out the winner.
Okay. Listen, Heat, thanks.
Thank you.
Good fight tonight. 6 fights in 1 year. Johnny the Heat, the winner tonight. Let's go back over to Howard and Arthur. Gentlemen.
Thanks, Dick.
We have a tremendous lightweight bout coming your way in just moments. And the reason it is a tremendous bout is because it features contrasting styles. Ruben Munoz and Choo Choo Brown. Munoz, a puncher. Choo Choo Brown, a deceptive boxer puncher. Let's take a further look.